Hello and welcome to another 5 Minute Life Hack. It's been a couple of weeks, I think, since there's been one, so I apologize, but I appreciate it. Let's dive right in. Today we are talking about surprise and delight. But before we get on to the topic, wanted to talk about this a little bit. So a couple weeks ago, we talked about drama on one of the 5 Minute Life Hacks, and I received a very heartfelt, thought out email about it from one of the amazing, talented, hardworking women in one of our organizations, and she expressed how she felt about it, and I think she appreciated the topic. She loved that we talked about drama and trying to avoid drama in our lives, and but she also called me out a little bit that she felt like the my introduction of the topic, when I discussed my daughter and my high school daughter and her friends that had, drama had occurred with, felt like I was maybe pointing this direction towards women or high school girls. And I apologize if that was what anyone took from that. That was definitely not the intent. And I think the more, I loved how she put it, though. She was very grateful for the topic. She was very thoughtful about how she presented her concern, maybe. And I really appreciated that. I appreciated the feedback because I always want to be sensitive and be careful. And I hope that as people get to know us and our organizations and our culture and what we stand for, I guess I put a picture of trust in here because I really appreciate the trust that she had in me to be able to share those things with me. And I certainly appreciate the feedback and take it to heart. And so, first of all, I would be the first to admit that there are just as many, if not more, drama situation caused by men and boys as there are women and girls. This is not a sex thing. It is a all humanity thing, and I hope that's how I approached it. But I appreciate the feedback. So thank you, sincerely. Thank you for the feedback. So let's dive in. Oh, this is an ugly slide. I did not clean this one up. I apologize, but let's dive in. So surprise and delight is what we're going to talk about. So there was a story I read about in one of the books I've discussed in the past, but it talked about a child who was on vacation with their family, and they had this stuffed animal. And some of you had this experience. Maybe you had an experience like this, but they had a stuffed giraffe that they slept with, they carried around, they held it. It was everything to this small child. They couldn't sleep without it. So they went on vacation. Of course, they brought along the stuffed giraffe, and they lost it, or the child left it there. And so going to bed that night, the parents were thoughtfully trying to calm their child so they could, go back to sleep. And so the parents called the hotel after they told their son, hey, he just wanted to rest a little bit and stay at the resort for a few extra days. That was their story to their child. So they immediately, once they got the child to sleep, they called the hotel, and the hotel said, we'll go ahead and look for it. Some of you have had this experience before. I know I have. I've left a cell phone charger somewhere or something like that. And it could have easily died there. The hotel could come back and say, we didn't find it. The second thing they could have done is said, yep, we found it, and we'll ship it out to you. And, it'll cost $20 or whatever. If you could just pay for it, we'll send it back out. But this experience, these employees had been trained in such a way at this resort to surprise and delight. And so what they did is they found the giraffe, and they let the parents know that they would be shipping it back on the hotel's dime, not on theirs. But when it came back in a box, and it had a 3-ring binder and laminated pages of all of these different pictures. And so they showed, here's a couple of them. It showed pictures of him lounging on the lawn chairs by the pool, just hanging out and enjoying his vacation, driving a golf cart. They had some others with him and like 5 or 6 other stuffed animals, hanging out, making new friends. They had the picture of the stuffed animal at the spa with cucumbers over his eyes. And the parents just were astounded and shocked at how much effort they had gone to just return the giraffe to their son, which I don't even know it was a son, might have been a son or daughter, I don't know. Their child was delighted just to have their stuffed animal back. But when they got this big binder and was looking through it, all the fun things their stuffed animal had done, it made them feel great. So anyway, this person posted a blog post about her or something, and it went viral. But this concept of surprise and delight, and taking those few extra minutes sometimes to really make an impact or make a big difference. That's one thing we talk about a lot here, is making an impact on others. And so there's another story I heard about, and this was this was someone I know who was coaching or was going to be judging a business plan competition. So they had a couple different categories: K through sixth grade, high school, college, open, some different categories. They had fairly young children, and so they asked their 6-year-old if she wanted to participate and think of a business plan, and she said yes. And so they printed out the business plan template, and her idea was Unicorn World. And so then they talked through all the questions in the business plan and just wrote down her answers. Didn't really guide her, just let her free flow and think about what this great business could be that she was considering. And it would be a multi-location business. It would have unicorn themes all throughout. It would be a trampoline park, combination with an arcade, combination with an amusement park, including the highlight, which would be a zip line between 2 huge sparkly unicorns. You can picture this, right? A 6-year-old coming up with all this. It would, of course, have pizza and ice cream and a gift shop and all the great things that she was considering in her head. So she put this business plan into the competition, and it didn't win. And it didn't even make it onto the next round. And apparently the judges didn't think a Unicorn World was that viable of a business opportunity. So they talked to their daughter about it. It was a great learning experience. And, she moved on, and there was some disappointment, but she was okay. So fast forward a couple months, this friend or this individual I know was in another state, and they got a advertisement for Unicorn World. It's a real thing. What it is it travels around the country from city to city, and it does a lot of the same things she had in her mind. There's balls to play in. You can see a few things here. There's dressing up like a princess and taking pictures with unicorns, and there's animatronic unicorns, which for those of us who are older might feel a little creepy. It's amazing and super fun. So anyway, they were just surprised and delighted. So they just sent a random email to info@unicornworld.com or whatever the end was, just about the little backstory about their daughter had thought of this idea and entered it as a business plan. And they thought nothing else of it. And they thought, oh, one time when it's close to us, maybe we'd like to go and take her. Fast forward a couple of weeks, and they got a response back and said from the business that we would like her to be our CEO for a day when we're in Atlanta, which was close to them. And so they flew her out. They had her be CEO for a day. She got to prepare some things for the show and be in the show. They picked her up in a limo to take her to work that day, and all these little extra things that obviously that little girl will never forget, and the parents will never forget. So these are pretty big surprise and delight type stories. But for us, do we have that opportunity in our lives as well, and in our businesses? Are there things we can also do? And so, I wrote a few things down, but in our business, is it as simple as writing a note or a thank you to someone within our organization? Maybe it's someone on your team or someone you've recognized doing amazing things. It really is kind of a lost art. And I received one of those last week, and it is amazing. It changes your perspective. It makes you feel amazing and like the work you're doing is impactful. So that's an idea. And thank you to to those who wrote it. Thank you. Connecting and showing you care with someone. Maybe it's lunch, maybe it's something else. Maybe you see somebody's really struggling. Hey, like put your arm around them and say, hey, man, looks like you're having a tough time. I hope you're doing okay. I'm here for you if you need, right? Maybe it's as simple as treating a supplier or a customer extra fantastic. Sometimes suppliers come in and they just feel like salespeople, and you just are trying to get rid of them as fast as you can. And some of that's needed, right? We're all busy. We've got lots of things to do, but maybe take an extra 2 minutes and you know, chat with them, find out about what they're doing, what their life's like, and just make a little bit of an extra effort. Same thing, family and friends. We can do the same thing there, right? Have the courage to go a little deeper with someone you love. That's something I'm trying to be better at. It's difficult, I think, but the more you practice it, the better it is. Plan an unexpected awesome day for your spouse, your kid, a friend, something that they'll remember, something different. That might be kind of a big thing, or maybe it's as simple as a small thing. Just send a text of appreciation to someone. But maybe look for an opportunity this next week to surprise and delight somewhere in your life sphere. Anyway, I liked it. I love those stories, so I thought I would share those. I hope we all are trying to make an impact in others' lives, and I appreciate the impacts that many of you have had in mine. And so, sincerely, thank you, and go make an impact today. Appreciate it. Bye.